What's going on, everybody? Rob here with a little video on our Hyundai Sonata. It's insane to me. For one, I don't like this. Is personal. This is not anything bad. I mean, you may have a different thing about the web dealerships, but I bought two cars from Web Ford before. Shame on me. One of them was a 07. I'm gonna get into why I wouldn't buy a Hyundai Sonata. All right, the 07 car I bought was a Focus, and within 2 weeks I had a flat tire. I bought it for my son, and within 2 weeks the wheels had a flat tire. So I took it, I tried to take the tire off to change flat tire. You know, men do that, and oh, gotta be right, people do that. And it was the wheel stems, the bolts were all stripped where I couldn't get it off. So since I couldn't get it off, I contacted the dealer. They said, well, bring it in. So I brought it in, and they told me that wasn't covered. Within 2 weeks now, that wasn't covered because I may have stripped all the bolts myself. I said, this is the first flat I got. This is the first time I'm taking it off, and they would not cover those wheel stems for me within 2 weeks. All right, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We bought a 05 Focus for one of our other kids, and driving home we noticed the air conditioner kept clicking on. I told my wife, I said, there's something wrong with the air conditioner. So we called, they said bring it back tomorrow. So I brought it back. No, they said, I called and they said take it to the place up the street. And I said, well, we bought it from you. I just wanted, you know, we just bought it. Right now the air conditioner, the clutch keeps going on, so it got to be low. It's not really cold. Well, you got to take it to the other place up the street. So I took it to the other place up the street. They said, well, we'll go halves. It was $350. So apparently we didn't go half. They put a can of Freon in it. And so I said, you know what? I'll never buy anything from a web dealership again. So onto the Sonata. So we were looking for a Kia Forte, and we're at Thomas Kia up the street. And my wife, it was too small. So they had a Hyundai Sonata, 12,000 miles, and it's a 16, so this was in the year 17. So we went ahead and we bought it, and we had to service that Thomas Kia. Every appointment we had done, everything we had done on it. And then this last one, they told us the oil pan had a hairline crack in it. The oil pan had a hairline crack in it. So I says, you know, my whole life I change oil pan gaskets. I've never changed an oil pan for a crack. The whole bottom of the Sonata is buttoned up. You can't have access to it because it's completely covered in plastic, right? So I was like, well, how did it crack if it's completely covered in plastic? So I started doing my research on the internet. They said we could change it because we got the part in stock. Red flag right there. Because they have the part in stock, therefore it means it's a common problem. Started doing my research on the internet. Now they have recalled some other cars. Talking with Hyundai itself, they've recalled some other cars for cracked oil pans, right? Unfortunately, the Sonata is not one of them been recalled for the cracked oil pan. So it gets a hairline crack by the bolt for the oil pan. So I contact Hyundai. I did a video. Hyundai, the corporation, the main corporation, did contact me back really fast. Within 5 minutes of Twitter account, they contacted me back. So I like, that's awesome. They said they're gonna look into it, yada yada yada. I got a case number. They called me back. So the case manager told me to bring it to my local Hyundai, and they'll look into having it covered. Which brings me to Web Hyundai, and I gritted my teeth. I says I kind of really don't like doing anything with Web because they screwed me twice before on cars. Well, this is a Hyundai, you know. I was like, okay, well, I'll bring it here. So I bring it to Web Hyundai. $195 for them to look at it, right? $195 for them to look at it. But not only that, the cost for them to look at it, as I'm walking through the door, I tell the service manager here, or the lady at the counter, I says, I have a case number from the Hyundai dealership. I got a case number from the Hyundai dealership. I don't care about that case number. We don't need it. I was like, but I was told by Hyundai, the corporation, to give you this case number. I don't need the case number. We don't need it. It just tells me you contacted them. I says, well, Hyundai says she wants to follow the service and find out what's going on. I know how to do my job. I do not need that case number. So I said, well, the oil pan's cracked or whatever. Now, I do got 66,000 miles on it, but the second owner is only covered up to 60,000 miles. So that is a catch-22, is 6,000 more. But my whole gripe is, if you have multiple years with Hyundais with the same crack in the same oil pan, that need to be changed, that means it's a stamping defect. And they said, well, the mechanics are torquing them too tight. Never in my life have I cracked the oil pan by torquing it too tight. So I contacted Thomas Kia and I says, well, they said you torqued it too tight. The service manager like, we don't torque oil pans with breaker bars, we torque them to specs. I says, I completely understand that. So Hyundai the Corporation says we're going to contact the our regional office to see if they'll cover it, right? So they told me they're going to cover the $195, the service cost, right? So I got to pay it, give them the receipt, they're going to take care of it. So the corporation is really, the lady at the corporation is doing her best to help me. She really is doing her best. So of course Web Hyundai didn't want anything to do with it. They said they weren't going to cover it. They said they didn't want the case number. They didn't even want me to look at me basically coming through the door. So here I am to pick it up, to eat my crow and pay the $195 to eat my crow, because they told the regional manager it's serviced by aftermarket dealers and aftermarket parts, so we're not going to cover it. It's not covered. Well, you know damn sure when I walked through the door you weren't going to cover it anyways, because that's what Web does. They don't stand by their crap. But not only that, Hyundai, please do a recall. Or if you're gonna buy a used Hyundai, for one, because of this fact now, and because it's happened to multiple years and it hasn't recalled, I'll probably never buy a Hyundai again, to tell you the truth. But I want this out there because if you're gonna buy a used Hyundai, if you're gonna buy a used Hyundai or you're gonna buy a new Hyundai, tell them you want that oil pan warranted. Tell them you want that oil pan warranted for over 60,000 miles. Because when you loosen it and unloosen it, count the oil changes every 3 months, 3,000 miles, 5,000 miles between, and it's gonna give. That oil pan is gonna give, and that's where I'm at right now, eating my crow, picking up from Web Hyundai. But like I said, Hyundai Corporation did a solid, and they did try to do their best. Right when I walked through this service thing, this lady was rude, and she did not want the case number from the corporation because they weren't planning on covering it anyways. I'm going to show you where I originally bought the car from in a bit now. Well, that was a relief. Crow I did not have to eat. All right, so the one thing I guess the corporation got me covered on, or whatever, is I did not have to pay the $195 service fee. So I mean, I was really going to be upset, although Hyundai Corporation was going to cover that for me. Hyundai Corporation, they've been awesome. My thing is that each individual place is owned and operated, and they come up with their rules, and the corporation can just request stuff. So that's what really bothers me. You know, I just wish the corporation could have just made them say, look, this guy's right. We got a bunch of years with these same cracks in the oil pans. Let's just go ahead and cover this. So I'm coming to Thomas Kia right now, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm not gonna go over any other mileage or whatever, pay my $100 deductible, and see when I can set the appointment to get this oil pan changed, because this oil pan is covered under our extended warranty that we purchased from here. All right, so I just walked out of Thomas Kia. When we bought the car, like I said, we were looking for a Kia Forte. We wound up buying the Hyundai Sonata because it had more room. Now the Kia G5, I think it is, the Kia G5 has as much room as a Sonata. So if you're looking for a Kia G5. But with the awesome thing is that they didn't charge me for the multi-point after all. The other one, which was going to be $195. Since we bought the extended warranty from here, we did buy the extended warranty when we bought the car. It's good for 85,000 miles, so it's going to be $100 with the deductible to have that oil pan covered, which would be $560 or $580. Somebody just drove off with the Kia G5. It is sexy. So either way it goes, Hyundai, their corporate customer service is awesome, amazing. But it saddens me that there should be a recall for that part, because it's a common thing that happens apparently across the internet. You get the hairline crack right next to the drain plug. So what they should do is they should use thicker metal on their oil pans. All right, talk to you later. Subscribe, like, and share.